In Manhattan, no flat road is visible to me. Visit China to see its infrastructure, Americans. When he was in America, the Pakistani Prime Minister stated, in fact, 3 U.S. presidents have also brought up China's infrastructure, in addition to the Pakistani Prime Minister. They all set their sights on China, promising to build better infrastructure and outperform it. The United States unveiled a rescue strategy for the economy and infrastructure on April 1, 2020. While a total of $2 trillion will be invested in this 8-year strategy, the objective is to overcome China and reclaim the top spot in infrastructure. However, the concept was rejected by both domestic American businesses and other groups, in addition to being mocked by the worldwide community. What causes this? The American Society of Civil Engineers is the oldest infrastructure organization in the United States. So let's keep talking about it. Their report is really thorough. The average age of American roadways is nearly 50 years old, and the entire infrastructure level is slightly above sea level per their research findings. The infrastructure of the United States is described in this study. 11 of the 17 areas of infrastructure, including roads, dams, schools, and transit, are given a D grade. Others, like the aviation and energy sectors, continue to be heavily subsidized by the government. They seldom make it to the pass line after repairs. The Pakistani Prime Minister therefore hinted about 2019 in such manner. The Pakistani Prime Minister experienced roller coaster, like ups and downs while traveling through New York City on his visit to the United States. In any case, this is New York, the global financial hub. Another instance in 2020 is when Musk specifically criticized the U.S. in an interview for having a system that is significantly worse than China in terms of damaged bridges and motorways. Some may wonder why American roads aren't being fixed, given how awful they are. It's not even that they don't want to do it in actuality. Everyone wants to do it, but they are unable to. Infrastructure improvements will always be a campaign pledge for politicians running for president in the United States, and they will put a lot of effort into it. But shortly after, reality would crush them. Even several governments have run across the same issue. Only 177 kilometers of the approximately $4 trillion in infrastructure that Obama planned in 2008 were actually constructed in 2016. Trump made a second $2 trillion infrastructure proposal, but the outcome remained the same. As a result, when they suggest that the United States intends to build infrastructure, many individuals will find it amusing. Then comes Biden's same $2 trillion idea. Will it be a success in actuality? The solution has been offered since the Obama administration. Obama made a significant pledge to learn from China's experience building high-speed rail and to get 80 of Americans on them in the future while he was campaigning for president in 2008. It wasn't a catchphrase. He actually did. After entering power, he initiated the money printing process right away and put up a roughly $4 trillion economic plan that included infrastructure. His work soon saw the formal commencement of the California high-speed rail project. This railroad will go a total of 1,287 kilometers from California to Los Angeles. After the railway opens, the travel time between the two cities will be cut in half from 9 to 2 hours, costing an estimated $30 billion. The first newly constructed high-speed rail in American history. It will also be the biggest and most costly. However, since the beginning of construction, the project's whole budget has grown by a factor of 2, from more than $30 billion to more than $60 billion, and subsequently to more than $90 billion. The ultimate spending plan increased by $98.1 billion. It resembles an empty, insatiable hole up until Trump took office and halted further investment. So after spending an enormous amount of money, the project remained incomplete. In the United States, the initial concept for 1,200 kilometers of high-speed rail that can travel into space and the oceans was reduced to just 177 kilometers. Cannot construct a railroad? Why? Let's wait and hear what the California governor has to say. The project was too expensive and took too long, according to California Governor Newsom, who announced the railroad's cancellation in February 2019. The rule lacked transparency. There was a lot of information in these 3 reasons. For instance, the enormous payments include cover compensation fees and American urination for human rights. But in this case, the human right is more about money than it is about freedom. You want to build a railroad on my property? Bring the cash, please. As a result, the farmer and the neighbors raised many concerns when the California Railroad planned to destroy the property. Additionally, the ultimate anticipated compensation sum increased from $6 billion to more than $10 billion. which was double the market value. If you refuse to pay, launch a lawsuit and gradually postpone the payment. They were successful in dragging down government investment thanks to the railway. In actuality, there was also consortium and political meddling. Airlines worry that nobody will fly once the high-speed rail project is finished. In democratic California, railroad construction is taking place, but it is failing as well. There are so many various sorts of issues, and Biden's infrastructure plan will run against them all. The U.S. expects to invest $2 trillion in infrastructure, with the majority of that money going into 5 different areas. Infrastructure for transportation will receive $621 billion, healthcare will receive $400 billion, and electrical systems will be improved with $300 billion, and electrical systems will be improved with $300 billion. Housing will be improved with $300 billion. Restoring American manufacturing will cost $580 billion. But given the deteriorated state of American infrastructure, this sum is just insufficient. The U.S. infrastructure will be improved to a qualified and safe level during the course of the next 10 years, according to the American Society of Civil Engineers budget. It takes around $5.09 trillion, and because of this, it is difficult for the United States to make any significant modifications under this plan. To make up for the difference in this component, it may only be tweaked to the same extent as during the Trump administration before returning to its original condition after a few years. Another clever move by Biden is to increase company taxes from the current 22-28. Americans mocked this strategy once it was announced, calling it a Trojan horse for infrastructure development. Trump described this as a gift to China and a way to entice businesses away from the United States. As a result, American company owners, particularly those of enormous corporations like Chevron, ExxonMobil, BP, and Toyota, are furious and are actively opposing the tax hike policy. In other words, this infrastructure plan is not at all prepared financially. Of course, there's always the option to print additional money. If there is an endless supply of money and everyone in the world agrees to pay for it, I'm just not sure how much more has to be produced until people throughout the world stop using dollars. Do you really believe that printing money can save the American infrastructure, though? Thanks for watching. Share in comments with your opinions. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and watch other secret news you didn't know about.